Hey there, ConnorCondria here, and welcome back to the series that'll seemingly never end because I always put it off to the side. Today we are doing a tier list on the Mario Party 7 minigames. We got 88 of them, a lot of them. So I may not explain all of them, I may go through some of them really quickly. Those are probably the ones that I just maybe don't care about, or there just isn't a lot to say about them. But we got a lot of them. So, I think without any further ado, we should probably just get into it. First off, we have catchy tunes, run around the piano and toys and just grab some fucking notes. It's alright, it's a good game, it's not bad. Next, we got Bubble Brawl. I actually like this one a decent amount. When I see this, especially now that I've watched anime a lot, the first thing I think of for some reason is Fairy Tail. In Fairy Tail, they have like this one thing in like their tournament arc where like everybody is in this giant fucking bubble and they gotta use their magic to like shoot each other out of it. For some reason, now whenever I see this, that's the first thing I think of. I don't know if that makes it better for me or whatever, because I do like Fairy Tail. So, I don't know. But I just enjoy it. Track and Yield is one of the best minigames in this. Track and Yield, you run on the track, you jump off the shit, don't get electrocuted, and don't miss the fucking hurdles. Simple, easy, but really enjoyable. Next, another S tier game, Fun Run. That's going even higher. This is like number 1 or number 2. That's how good this is. Fun Run, you have an obstacle course, you got things to jump over, you got things you gotta wait for, you gotta make sure that you don't get hit by the spikes, you gotta make sure you don't fall down the trap holes, and it's just really fun to go through the level, seeing the level change around you. You start in this hallway, then you go out into the bright sunlight, and then by the time you get to the top, it's like midnight, you got the moon shining down on you. It's just a really cool minigame, cool aesthetics. But from there, we move on to Cointagious, and yeah, shit. Coin minigame, you sit on a platform, you press A, and you get a random coin amount from 0 to 3, and you do that for 30 seconds. Doesn't that sound fun? That's my ideal coin minigame. It sucks. It just fucking sucks. Next, we got Snow Ride, and this is another B tier minigame. Solid one. I'd probably put it above this. I think for this, I want to try to get everything, you know, how I want it, where I would actually put them on top of each other and under each other and shit like that. I'm going to try to do it as best as I can. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect, but I'm going to try. Go around in the holes, basically just go left, right for the most of it, and don't get stuck, and it's just a pretty fun minigame. Next, we got Picture This. Picture this. A world where everything just goes right. I know, it's impossible. That shit never happens. But yeah, you flip through a scrapbook which gives you a bunch of different photos, and you pick the one that is in the center. Next, we got Ghost in the Hall. I really like this one. It's a maze, and anytime you get in a wrong direction, you will get a boo that will scare you. Well, not scare you, but scare the character. So you know that you're going the wrong way, and you can just go back and figure out which way to go. I love maze minigames. I do enjoy some RNG ones, but I definitely love maze minigames. Those are some of my favorites. Next, we got the Big Dripper. It's gonna be like a low B. Like whenever we get through this, it might be like towards the end of B. It's not, how do I put it? The game is okay. You just wait around for honey and avoid bees when they come flying at you. It's basically you just press a button to duck. But I don't know. I feel like if you have a lot of people who are competent, it'll probably be a draw most of the time if you have some people who are really competent. Unless somebody gets, like, lucky where they get, like, 2 or 3 drops right next to each other where the other people are maybe a little far off. But aside from that, it's kind of mainly, like, draw stuff. Unless that's just me. It probably is. Next, we got Target Tag. I'm gonna put this high B. High B. You fly around the air hitting targets. Try to hit the higher targets. Don't hit Bowser. Otherwise, you are fucked. Pokey Pummel. I'm gonna probably put this at low A. I do love button mashing minigames, and this is one of my favorite ones aside from Domination because of the fact that you can do it like really, really fucking quick. Next, we got Take Me Home. Actually, this is another pretty good one. I'll probably put it above this. You got thwomps on the sides. You got 5 thwomps. They jump down on their platforms to electrocute you. As it goes on, it gets more difficult because you'll get like 3 coming from 3 completely different directions. And you gotta make sure you time it right, or you go in specific spots where you don't get fucked over as bad. It's just a really good minigame. Next, we got Cartwheeled. It's a good racing minigame. Go around in some circles. Actually, let me put this probably around here. Go around in circles 5 times. Not bad. And that is going to be it for the 4-player minigames. But we do have 5 more that are mic minigames for the 4 players. First one is Balloon Busters. I think this one is... let's see, looking at it. Never mind. I was going to say I think this is probably one of the better ones, but there are definitely better ones in the 4-player. Balloon Busters, you have 1 big balloon, and basically everybody is going to take turns to blow up the balloon. You can do up to 5, but you have to do at least 1. Every time you'll have 1 person in the safety zone, and the 3 people who are just kind of in the you're going to get fucked zone. So as long as you can make sure that that balloon is going to pop right before you get into that safety zone, you'll be A-okay. Next, we got Clock Watchers. This is probably going to go towards the lower B too. Basically, everybody gets a specific time. It's probably, I'm pretty sure it's the same time for everybody. Say it's 10 seconds. Clock will start going. Around 3 or 4 seconds, it'll disappear. That way you have to do the time in your head. And then you basically say stop once you think it hits that time. Simple. Closest wins. Next, we got Dart Attack. This is the high B one. I really like this one. Basically, you have 5, is it 5 or 4? 4 targets? Yeah. You have 4 targets, 10, 20, 30, and 50, and then you got 0 all the way in the back if you don't hit anything. Try to hit the targets to get whatever score you can get. You got like 5 attempts if I'm not mistaken, and then highest score wins. My favorite 4-player mic minigame is Oil Crisis. I almost said that completely wrong. Had to look just for a second. Oil Crisis. You go around and you have 4 lanes. You're going to get gas. You're going to get oil. And what you want to do is to go as far as you can, but you can only go further if you get oil or, well, gas. I don't know why I said oil. You don't want to hit the oil, alright? You'll fucking slow down immensely. You want to get as much gas as you can to get as far as you can. If I'm not mistaken, there is an end if you can make it, but it is pretty far and pretty difficult to get there. And finally, we have Mathematician. I think I said that right. This one is probably right above this one. Basically, you got numbers. You call out a number once a boo gets into it. And then high score wins, just like a lot of these games. Next, we're going into the 1v3 minigames. And we're going to start it off with La Bamba. It's a B tier minigame. You got 1 person below. They got spikes. They got bombs that the 3 people on top are going to drop on them. You got a small box, a medium box, and a big box. Watch out for the bombs. And I think, honestly, the one... Or no, it's the 1 player on top of the 3 people on the bottom. I'm dumb. I completely fucked that up. I'm dumb. Just disregard anything I said. But you got the 3 people on the bottom, 1 person on top. I think it is more in the 3 person's favor here. When you have 1v3 minigames, there are definitely going to be some where it's more in favor of the 1 or more in favor of the 3. I think this is definitely more in favor of the 3. Next, we got Spray Anything. It's probably the first C tier minigame. It's not great. It's not bad. I think, because this is probably one of them that I'm not 100% on. Spray Anything, I think it's basically 3 people in the round, 1 person in the center, and then you just want to spray him with water. I think if you get him once, or if you knock him off, it's either you hit him once or you knock him off, and then you win. I'm not fully certain on that, so don't. My word isn't fucking. It isn't concrete, alright? Next, we got Balunatic. Another B tier minigame. I'm probably going to put it like right above this. Actually, I'll put it above the racing. 1 person is flying around in their. I think it's like a fucking hot balloon. You got 3 balloons on top. You want to shoot all of them. It can be pretty wonky with the aim, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Next, we got Spinner Cell. I'd probably put this as a C tier one as well. You got 3 people roaming around a little arena. You got 1 person controlling the spiky thing and the not spiky thing. If they hit the one that isn't spiky, they don't die. They just kind of get knocked back a little bit and like get dazed for like a second, if that. 1 is controlled by the right stick and 1 is controlled by the left stick. It's alright. It's not the best, but it's alright. Next, we got Easy Pickings. This is a B tier minigame as well. Roam around, hit the things. 1 player can hit the blocks in 1 attack, while the 3 people can do it in 3. You know, balance it out and all. Good minigame. It's a little bit luck. You really want to just try to hit as many as you can in the time, just so you have a better chance of getting the 3s. Really what it comes down to. Next, we got Think Tank. It's a 1v3 minigame where everybody's in tanks. And by what I've seen and played, the 1 player kind of has the bigger advantage. Mainly because just the way they shoot, you would think that the 3 people have the advantage. But as soon as you get rid of 1 of the 3, it's just a cakewalk from there. If you can somehow coordinate the 3 to perfectly align themselves to get as many shots on them without getting shot as much, you have a chance. But when it really comes down to it, you're gonna get fucked over if you lose anybody before they lose like 3 or 4 hearts. Once that happens, you're done. Next, we got Flash Fright. This is actually a tough one to grade, because there is definitely like a cheat, or well, I wouldn't call it a cheat, but there's definitely a way where you can kind of like cheat your way to a win if you're one of the 3. I don't know how I would rank it, because it is fun if you are the 3, but if you're the 1 and the 3 kind of know that strategy, you're probably going to be bashing your head in the wall for the entire fucking 30 seconds, wishing that you could just fucking end the minigame. So I feel like since most people probably wouldn't know the strategy, I'll put it in B. Just for the fact that I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't know it, I feel like B is a good solid place to put it. Next, we got Coin Up Bop. Another coin collecting minigame, and it's pretty mediocre at best. The 3 people on the right side, think of it as the fucking fish minigame in Mario Party 4, where you have to fill up the tank to get the fish. Basically, you're doing the same thing, almost literally, except the 1 person on the left has 1 less command. And for everything that you get correct, if you do them all, you get 3 coins. It's basically that instead of filling the water. So it's just alright. And the last 1v3 minigame is Pogo a Gogo. And I'm going to put this in A tier. I actually really like this one because the fact that you can change the direction is alright. But I feel like the controls, if you are the fucking Pogo, is really good. Like, better than you may expect. I don't know how you would expect it if you've never played it, but it just feels really good to jump around. Sometimes you can get annoyed by some controls of some mini games during Mario Party's career, but this one just feels really good. And now we're going to move on to the mic minigames for 1v3, starting off with the Wheel of Woe. And I'm probably going to put this middle B tier. Basically, the person's in the center calling out commands. You can do Bullet Bill, you can do Chain Chop, you can rotate it back the other way. Don't fall in the hole, don't fall off. Next, we got Boxing Day. This is probably a low B. Basically, you want to flip over the panels. One person is trying to box them off and shake them off and get them off before they can reveal the entire picture. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Next, we got Be My Chum, another low B one. This is better than this. This is kind of the same, except you're in water. You also got a bunch of shit that can come and attack you, kind of like with that. It's just better on this platform than it is underwater. Next, we got Stratus Fear, and another low B one. I might even put a top C. You go up and down, avoid the bullet bills. It's very simple. And if the one player really knows what they're doing, they could probably fuck you very, very easily. And the final 1v3 minigame is Number Crunchers. I'm going to probably put this one in D. Mainly for the fact that if... My strategy for you, if you ever play this one, stand in the middle. If he calls a 3, you jump off. If they call anything aside from a 3, you fucking stay in the middle. It's not as hard as you may think. At least in my experiences. If you kind of stay towards the middle, you kind of stay towards like one little corner, like the bottom left, where you got some 3s, you got a 1 and a 2. If you can, you know, get yourself in a good situation, it really will not be that hard for you. It really won't. Now we're going to move on to the 2v2 minigames, starting off with Buzz Stormer. I'll probably put this, it's decently high B. I love the fact that you control this bee, even though I hate bees, alright? I fucking despise bees. I hate them with a burning passion. Every time I see them, I just want to run away. I don't want to deal with them, and I just want to get the fuck out of there. But Buzz Swarmer, you roam around a giant fucking like jungle, I guess, in a bee's eye, and you just storm through. Don't hit any of the flowers, otherwise you're gonna stun back. But I love the fact that both people can control it, and if you aren't coordinated, you're gonna get fucked. And it's just funny to see somebody miss it, like just ooh so slightly. Next, we got Tile and Error. This is probably a lower B one. Tile and Error, you have a platform with 16 tiles. 16, right? Yeah, 16 tiles. You want to have as many in your color as possible. You ground pound them. You can go up to 4 at a time. If you can hit it directly in the center of 4 of them, it's alright. It's good. It's just alright, honestly. Next, we got Battery Ram. This is a pretty good one. You got a big maze where you have this battery, but it's hooked up to this thing where it's longer, of course, so it's not as easy to traverse this tiny little maze. You gotta mix your way in and out, up and down, turn yourself all around to try to find the best, possible solution to get all the way to where the battery needs to go in. And it's probably one of the better 2v2 minigames in this game. It's hovering between low B and high A. But I think for now, I'm just going to put it in high B. Did I say low B and high A? I think I did. I meant high B and low A. Whoops. Oopsie daisy. Well, let's just move on to Cardinal Rule. This game is okay. You got to bunt stomp on or ground pound the cards that match the center. First to 3 points wins. You can fuck over the other team if you choose to do so by ground pounding them if they're unsuspecting, but overall, it's just an alright minigame. Speaking of alright minigames, we're going to move on to this. Now we have Bumper Crop. You want to go around and collect 2 of every crop, bring them back to your thing. Of course, you have the fakes where it's just nothing, which may take, or well, it might just fuck you over just long enough to lose the game, but it's okay. Could be better. It could be a lot better. Next, we got Hop-O-Matic 4000. This is another high B one. You have a thing where you have to control with specific button presses. I feel like there's one of these in like Mario Party 4 or 5. I feel like there's one that's kind of similar, but I just can't poke my fucking tongue on it. It just eludes me. But basically, you press the buttons. Once you press a certain amount of buttons, it'll fling yourself forward. And then first one to the finish wins. Next, we got Sphere Factor. I actually really like this one. I'd say probably a little more than B. Basically, you got a giant ball and you got to traverse it through a bunch of different paths. Actually, what am I doing? What am I doing? I said this is the best one. Why am I fucking putting that one above it? Ew. Connor, wake up. I know it's fucking 12:30 at night, but damn. Oh my god. Anyways, Fear Factor is this giant maze. Well, not maze, but it's like an obstacle course where you push the ball along the path. And it's great when you get to the end. There's this one, like, I wouldn't say it's narrow or, like, wide. It's decent. It'll fit the ball and maybe, like, 1 or 2 inches to each side. So you kind of got to get it perfectly on there. Otherwise, you're going to drop it down into a deep ditch. You're just going to have to fucking hope you can push it up before the other team can get to that finish. Next, we got another A-mashing button mini game in Winging It. And this is probably one of my more least favorite ones. Mainly, I don't know, it's just the aesthetic maybe, I don't know. Just a team mashing button. I like the Manic Mallets one because when you mash it after it smashes the loser. Here it's just you raise up in a fucking electronic flying Koopa. That's it. Nothing really big or amazing like the fucking Domination where it fucking shows all the ones that you've hit so you know how many you've hit. Or Poke Pummel where you're just fucking smashing the shit out of Pokies and you can be done in like 3 or 4 seconds if you're really, really good. But here it's just, you just fly up. Higher is better. That's really it. That's really it. Next, we got Herbicidal Maniac. And this, I don't know. I feel like I like it, but maybe not as much as I think. Like, this is probably like mid-B. Yeah, probably like mid-B. Basically, you have pipes with piranhas and, like, bombs, kind of. If you hit the bomb, you just kind of, like, stun yourself to where you can't shoot. And the first one to hit all the piranhas will win the round, and then you want to win, like, 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. Next, we got a 2v2 coin collecting minigame in Pyramid Scheme. This is, I'd say it's probably one of the better coin collecting minigames, especially for 2v2. You gotta work with your teammates to get to the coins as they fall down. They do give you a tiny little window to collect them once they hit the ground. You wouldn't think they give you that time, but they give you a little bit of time. Just a tiny bit. So if you can get there, like, especially with like a fucking coin bag, you really want to make sure that you go for it. And continue to go for it, even if it touches the ground. Because you may have that split second where you may collect it, so. Tips with me. Tips with ConnorCondria, alright? I got you. I know these Mario Party minigames. Except for that one that I kind of didn't understand. The fucking water one there in C. Like that one I kind of don't remember exactly how you win. But everything else, I got a pretty good idea. Next is World Peace. Something that we will never achieve. At least while I'm alive. Basically, you got a bunch of pieces and then you want to find the 2 that correlate to the one in the middle. And then construct it before the other team does. There's a lot of them like that. I'd say it's probably like a C, high C. If I could, come on! Fucking, fine, I'll move that one. I want to be fucking annoying. And the last 2v2 minigame is Spider Stomp. This is actually probably one of my, this is probably my favorite 2v2 now that I think about it. You're shooting spiders, and as you go along, they get bigger and bigger. You gotta avoid the webs that they shoot at you, and it's just all around a good, fun shooting game in a Mario game, which it really doesn't have a shit ton of, but usually when they put them in, they're pretty good for the most part. Now we're gonna be moving on to the 5 battle minigames, starting off with Helipopper. And if I may be frank, this is probably one of the more disliked battle minigames that I've seen. There's one other one that's a little meh in my opinion. Maybe 2. But I think the reason I don't like this one is because if you have 4 people, again, who are competent, you will pop all the balloons before timer runs out. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm pretty sure that the balloons do not respawn in random places. And I wish that was the case, because I want to pop as many balloons in the timer, not pop a specific amount in the timer, you know? I want to be able to pop as many as I can, not pop, let's say 15, where everybody else maybe has like 13, and then I just win because they didn't respawn in. It just, I don't know. I feel like they should respawn in after a certain amount of time in random places that you aren't at or something like that. It should be able to tell where you are in the fucking map, since, I don't know. Hey, I'm trying not to ramble on too much, but it could just be better. Next, we got Monty's Revenge, and again, it's another C tier. This one was put in the top 100, and when I get there, oh boy, it is gonna be a fun time. That one I definitely may spend an hour on, so be prepared for that. But I just don't see how this is a top 100 minigame. I don't see it. I don't see how a lot of those are top 100 minigames, and I'll get into it when I get to it. That's gonna be a fun video. I'm gonna fucking rant like no tomorrow. But let's stick with Mario Party 7 for now. Let's stay on track. But it's just, I don't know. The fact that this is so closed in, if the moles are all like right here in the center, no matter where you go, they can get to you in literally like half a second. They'll be there like that. So, I don't know. Unless like the fucking mole AI is supposed to be like incredibly dumb, I feel like this is just, it should be bigger. Alright, it should be bigger. They should make this make the star a little bigger, make more holes, and I feel like that would make it a lot better of a minigame. That way you have more time to be able to get out, but with this so small, you kind of get out and then have to get back in. Get out, get back in. Out, in, out, in. You're doing a lot of that rather than trying to really strategize where to go. It's just, you're kind of picking a spot, hoping that they won't notice you for half a second, and then go right back in. Next, another one that made it into the top 100, Deckhands. It's a luck minigame. I'll give them that it's a pretty decent luck minigame. I do like it. I do like the fact that it's cards from like 1 to 13, I think. Yeah, 1 to 13, because there'll be one card at the end. Everybody gets 3, so that makes 12. And you just want to make sure you try to randomly collect the high ones. That's about it. That's all there is to it. Next, we got Air Farce. This is a decent one. You got to make sure you angle yourself perfectly to glide along the waters before you end up falling in it. It's alright, but I don't know. Maybe if it was made to be a little longer, like you start out a little higher to where you can make it a little further, I feel like that would make it a little better. But it's okay. And finally, the best battle minigame, the final countdown. This, actually, you know what? You're going top A. You may even make it to bottom S by the end of this, because I'm still debating some mini game to maybe make it to the move. But the final countdown is so good. Each panel is counting down. Once it reaches 0, it opens. So you really gotta watch both everybody trying to fight you. You gotta watch the panel so you don't fall off or fall in. And you gotta make sure you watch where you're standing so you don't get punched off. You got 3 whole things to watch. And every single thing can fuck you over in the matter of a split second. It's so good, so intense. One of the best battle minigames. Hands down. Thankfully, that one actually did make it. They did something right. Anyway, now we're going to move on to the duel minigame, starting out with Warp Pipe Dreams. It's It's RNG for the most part that I know of. I don't know if there's a specific path or if it's kind of random each time, but from what I played, it can last anywhere from like 10 seconds, probably about a minute and a half. Next, we got wait for it. You got a bunch of balls, you gotta hit them on your opponent's side, and that's about it. Hit them on your opponent's side, and that's it. Make sure you don't have the bigger weight on your side. Next, we got mad props, and this is definitely an A tier one. I really like this duel minigame. I wish something like this was like a 4-player minigame or a battle minigame or something along those lines, just so you could probably play it a little more. But basically, you're going to control your ship with L and R. If you press R, you go left. If you press L, you go right. It's like an inverted thing based on the propellers. And if you hold them together, you go forward. You got to avoid the rocks. You got to avoid the twists and turns. It's just a really fun minigame, and I wish more games were like it, but boy, we gotta get that fucking contagious. Whoo! Anyway, next we got Gimme a Sign. This is a decent one. This is a pretty decent one. Each time the Shy Guy will hold up one sign, and you gotta make sure you're off of it. As time goes on, he'll hold 2, and that just makes it a lot more difficult, because if you're like, let's say you're in the center of green and blue, and he holds up green and blue, you better be fucking moving, otherwise you are gonna fucking just fall right the fuck in. I say fuck a lot, sorry. It's just who I am. I enjoy cursing. I know a lot of people are like, cursing is so bad. Why? Why is cursing bad? It's just a word. What's wrong with fuck? Why does fuck have to be bad? Why can't any other word be a bad word? Why fuck? Why shit? Why ass? If people didn't sit, alright, just to go on that little tangent, just for about 20 seconds. If people did not dramatize fuck, shit, ass, motherfucker, dick, vagina, pussy, any of these bad words, people probably wouldn't say it as much. But when you sit there and tell people not to do something, people will do it. There's your life lesson on people. Man, I'm just getting all different lessons today. We got Mario Party lessons, we got life lessons, we got world lessons. How the fuck did I do this from a Mario Party video? What am I doing with my life? Anyway, next we got bridge work. It's kind of the same. I'm going to say kind of the same. It's like Give Me a Sign. It's kind of like the same setting. But you want to just avoid the cheaps. Don't get hit by them. And that's about it. Next, we got Spin Doctor. And this is a pretty decent one, too. The red circles or spinning things will spin in 3 specific locations. Whether it's up, left, right, up, left, down, up, right, down, left, right, stuff like that. You really got to make sure you know where it's spinning, otherwise you're just going to get yourself stuck. And then the blue ones spin around completely, so those ones you know you're going to be able to make it wherever you need to make it to, so long as you go when you need to. Alright, I should probably start speeding this up as we're getting close to like 35 minutes or so. And I didn't want this to be like 45 minutes or longer, so I'm going to start speeding it up a little bit. Next, we got Royal Rumpus. It's a pretty shit one, honestly. I don't know. I don't like the whole stomping on Goombas thing for a minigame. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Next, we got Hip Hop Drop. I'm going to put that in like a high C. Press the buttons as they appear. Don't fuck up. Next, we got Light Speed. I will stop to talk about this one for a second. I want to put it up here. I really, really, really do. But I can't, for the subtle fact that, as you can see here, if you can light them up and you get behind your opponent, they will never win. Because you'll just follow them for eternity and they have nothing they can do about it. They just fucked. Next, we got Apes of Wrath. It's a pretty good one. Avoid the fucking... Are they Ukiki? I don't know if they're Ukiki or not. But avoid the chimps or apes or whatever you want to call them. Just make sure you don't get touched. Next, we got Fish and Sheeps. This is a better version of this because they're on the bridge. Here you're in the water trying to swim and avoid them. I think it's a really good one. Next, we got, and finally, we got Camp Ukiki. This is another really, really good duel minigame that probably, in my opinion, should have been a duel. Well, probably should have been like a battle or a 4-player one or something along those lines. It's a big obstacle course. You got multiple different paths as you move along further and further. Some are shorter, some are quicker, some are more riskier, some are safer. It's just a whole bunch of things where, hey, you want to go for the hard ones, you go for it. But if you fuck up, that's on you. Now we're going to move into Mario Party 7's main gimmick, 8-player minigames. You can play with 8 players, 2 players on a team, all sharing one single controller. I doubt I'll ever be able to do this. I would love to at some point. Somehow find a way to get 8 people to want to play Mario Party, but I currently don't even have that many friends. So, yeah. I don't see it happen anytime in the near future. Plus, we kind of need to get started on Mario Party 1 before we ever get to Mario Party 7. Although, I don't know if I want to do it more in the style of, like, the Runaway Guys, where you play through Mario Party 1, then you play through Mario Party 2, and then you kind of move up. Or you just pick a Mario Party and you play through it, which I guess is more like We Like to Play style of how they did it. They kind of just picked a Mario Party and played through it. They didn't start at one, they just kind of went through whatever like ones they felt like playing. Or if I want to do it more like Mario Party TV, where they do like this kind of like tournament style, where you do a different game like a week or something like that. You start with Mario Party 1, then you go 2, 3, and on, but you only do one board at a time. They're both, like, all 3 styles are like really cool and interesting. I just don't know how I would want to do it. Hey, if you want to leave comments on how to do that, that would be appreciated. This way I could work it over with my friends and we could figure out what we want to do from there. But hey, I always love input. I always love feedback. And I definitely read the comments. So hey, if you want to leave some feedback on what you think is the better way of doing it, let me know. Next, we got... Oh yeah. I didn't even start with the fucking 8-player minigames. I just kind of went on a tangent. Oops. Alright, first we got Real Smoothie. You got 2 players, of course, on a team. And if it's your fucking fruit, you pick it up. If it's your teammates, they pick it up. Very simple. Just don't fuck it up. Next, we got Spin-Off, and this one's... It's alright. Basically, you just gotta match up for all 3 different, enemies or characters. And just do your best not to fuck it up. Next, we got Grin and Bar. This is a pretty good one. This is like the main one that they showed off being the 8-player minigame. Well, 8-player minigames, like the big minigame that they love showing off. The big jump rope and just jump over it. It gets faster and faster, and it's fucking funny when like 5 people fall off at once. They just fling them across the fucking room. Next, we got Hammer Spammer. It's a B1. It's a lower B1. Avoid all the Hammer Bros as they just start flinging shit at you. It's fucking fun. But I don't know. Oh wait, no. Well, actually, I did forget something. That'll make it a little higher. They have giant hammers that'll just come down and fucking smash you if you're not paying attention. So, with that included, yes, I will put that higher. Like mid to high B. Gotta remember shit, huh? Apparently, I have hard times doing that. Next, we got Gimme a Break. Definitely an A tier one. You roam around, well, not you roam around, but it sends you on a path, and you press A to break at the perfect time to make sure you don't fall in the mud. It's pretty fun trying to figure out the timing for it. And the big one I wanted to talk about. Well, one of the big ones. There's like 2 or 3 more that I want to talk about that are pretty big for me here. Bumper to Bumper. This game right here is what Bumper Balls strives to be. I don't like Bumper Balls, but this is so much better. You got like the perfect amount of bounce, because the original Bumper Balls and the remade Bumper Balls for the top 100 have not enough bounce and way too fucking much bounce. Here it's perfect. and you're a little more slippery here. And the fucking platform tilts depending on how many players are on a specific side of this platform. This is what Bumbleball should have been, alright? This is what he should have been. But of course, they relegated it to a fucking off-the-side mode that you technically need 8 players for. I mean, you can do it with computers, but still. It's just... this is what Bumbleball should have been. Next, we got synchronicity. It's a boating one. Just row in sync with your teammate and make it to the end. Next, we got rope-a-dope. Rope-a-doop-a-doop. I actually really like this one because you have to really work with your teammate to get around the really, really wide areas. Otherwise, you're just going to keep falling over and over and over and over and over. And believe me, I have experience and it's annoying. Next, we got duct and cover. It's okay. Just walk around to the things, press the button a certain amount of times to hammer it up and do it 3 times. Your opponent does, your teammate does it 3 times and then you win. Next, we got Bubonic Plague. This is like a lower B one. You got 1 bomb. And it starts out with 8 people. You pass it around, but you don't want to just make sure that you don't have it. You want to make sure that the person next to you also does not have it. Because it explodes the person that has it, and the person to the left of them, and the person to the right of them. And it goes down until you're down to 5, then to 2, and then of course to 1, unless the team of 2 somehow make it out and win. But I actually really like this one. It's just, I feel like it would be better, and I don't remember if they ever do something. I don't think they ever do anything like this, but I think it would be better if you had 3 bombs at the same time. I feel like that would make it better. Like you do the 3 bombs for the first 2 times and then the 1 bomb at the end. I feel like that would make it so much better. That way, you're just making sure that you're not fucking over yourself. Actually, no. They do this, I think, in Super Mario Party. I think they do it because of the whole allies. The way they did it in Super Mario Party is better than the way they did it here. That's my stance on it. That's how I'm staying with it. Next, we got Unhappy Trails. The easiest way to think about Unhappy Trails is think about Super Mario Party where they have that one specific minigame where you're all teaming up in the boat. They have that one minigame that you can do where you have to like pass it along with your teammates to get it to the end in a specific amount of time. Or if you want to think about it as, oh fuck, what is it called? The fucking slippery ice one in Mario Party 3 where you're walking around the path and you want to get the blocks to the end. This is basically kind of the same concept as those, where you're working with a teammate. So you bring a key to a teammate, the teammate brings the key to the chest, then they bring whatever's in the chest back to you, and then you have to bring that back to the start. It's actually really fun, and I feel like, I don't know how you can make it better, but overall, I do like that it's not as slippery as Mario Party 3, and definitely that it's longer than fucking Super Mario Party. I will say that much. And the final 8-player minigame. Thankfully, my fucking throat is killing me. I'm not used to talking for this long at once. I'm more used to like 25 to 30 minutes. I'm not used to almost 50. So once, I gotta get myself used to it because I want to do streaming at some point. But anyway, the final one is shock absorbers. This is a pretty good one. You have 3 different commands that you can do. I think it's 3. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Left, right, and up. And you push them as they, you know, glow up. If you press the wrong one, you're out. But after a while, everything will just try to electrocute you. You just gotta dodge it. Last one standing wins. And now, I can finally say we're moving on to the last few. We got Donkey Kong, Bowser, Rare, and then the final boss. We're starting out with Donkey Kong. First, we got the single-player minigames. We got Jumpman, which is my favorite. I love the platforming of everything. I think it's really good. Next, we got Vine Country, which is, I'll put it in C, honestly. if you really can, if you know what you're doing and you can just kind of react pretty quickly, you'll almost always win. And the final one, A Bridge Too Short, is probably the worst. Mainly because the big strategy for this one is just you follow Donkey Kong at the start. And you follow just slightly behind him. And because he's bound to mess up at least once. You wait for him to mess up, you turn around, and then you just go from there and just hope that you pick the right paths and hope that he doesn't pick the right ones before you. You'll always get a head start if you follow that, and that's about it. Unless he gets a perfect run, you're going to lose. That's all it really is. Now, we're going to move on to the multiplayer ones. We got Peel Out, which is an alright one. You just pick paths. Bananas Faster. This one is, again, it's just alright. And finally, we got the Stomp Change, which again is just, say it with me, alright. Next, we're going to move on to the single-player Bowser minigames. First, we got Slot O Whirl. I like the slot. I like how you got slow, medium, and fast. You can get the first two pretty easily, but when you get to the last one, it can get pretty tense. Next, we got Treasure Dome. I probably put it just a little higher. Just a tiny bit. You got 5 chests, you got 1 key to start with, and you got to go from chest to chest, trying to figure out which key goes in which chest until you get to the end. And finally, we got the Tunnel of Lava. We'll put it right in between them. You got a bunch of things, like Mecha Koopas. You got to stomp on them, find which one has a key. Sometimes they'll burn up. Don't touch them when they burn up. And that's about it. And finally, for the last real minigames, we got the multiplayer Bowser ones. And I'll be honest, many people will say that these are incredibly difficult, and I will agree, but that means, in my opinion, if you can give me incredibly difficult but fair Bowser minigames, they will all go in the A tier. Every single one of them. I'll put that one above that one. I think that's about where I want them. They're not going to be high A, but they're definitely going to be at least in A. I love Magical Journey. There's a lot of different platforms, a lot of different ways you can go. Some are a little easier than others. Next, we got Funsticle Course. This is another really, really good one. And the last one is Thunderwall. Avoid all the fucking fire, avoid the bombs, avoid all the things that are going to come your way and try to fuck you up. But all three of them are just really good, really tense Bowser minigames. They did a good job with Mario Party 7 Bowser minigames. I will say that much. They did a really good job with them. And finally, we're moving on to the final 3. We got Ice Moves. Nice moves. It's just air hockey. That's all it really is. It's just air hockey. I don't know how the fuck somebody got 35-0 unless you just let them fucking score for non-stop. I don't know. Then we got Stick and Spin. I'm not big on puzzles. Never really got into Tetris. I'm not one into building puzzles. So puzzle minigames like this are not my style. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put it in D. But Bowser's Lovely Lift is probably one of the better Bowser boss minigames. Like I said, Mario Party 7 nailed Bowser. They got him really, really good. They did a really good job with him. Except if you consider the fact that they decided to put him in every 5 turns to fuck up the board. That is the only thing I find bad about Mario Party 7. Well, there are definitely some other things, but that's the big one. That's the big one. That just turns me off sometimes. I really don't want to sit there and deal with Bowser taking 20 coins every 5 turns, or destroying bridges every 5 turns, or just fucking everything up every 5 turns. So that, I can finally say, is every minigame ranked. We got 2 S tiers, we got a decent amount of A tiers, we got a bunch of B tiers, a decent amount of C tiers, a few D tiers, but no F tiers. There is no game in this that I completely despise. So overall, I'd say the minigames are pretty good. This is a pretty good one. Definitely not the best, but it's pretty good. So, I think that's probably where I'm going to end it before my voice just completely gives out on me. If you did like the video, you can check out Mario Parties 1 through 6 on the tier list. You can check out my big video, which kind of took off out of nowhere. Like in August and September, my ranking every Mario Party on a tier list, which can, includes minigames, boards, and story, and characters, and all that. I kind of, rank them. And I will say, here and now, while I'm thinking about it, I do wish that that wasn't my biggest video. Only for the fact, like, I'm so appreciative that so many people really like it. But I feel like people watch it and they just kind of have the wrong idea of me. Mainly for the fact that that was my very first video that I was completely off script. I didn't have a script. Because originally, my very first few videos had scripts to them. Or like general ideas that I wanted to talk about. That one I really didn't have anything. So, I struggled a lot. I was like, I even had a comment that they deleted that said, fucking take a drink every time this guy says, you'll be fucking dead. And they were right. They were totally right. So there was that. There was my mic, which was completely shitty. At least this one's better. I know I'm not like the best when it comes to figuring out like what the best mic settings are. But it's definitely a lot better than it was a year and a half ago. Actually, no. No, I think I made it like May or June. So about a year, about like 14, 15 months. But I don't know. I just kind of wish I made that video like now, kind of, with this mic, where I'm able to talk a little more freely. I'm able to talk more about what I like, what I dislike, rather than just going, I don't know. But that's probably going to end it. But yeah, if you do like it, you can like the video, subscribe, comment anything that you may agree or disagree with. If you have any ideas, like I said, for the Mario Party thing that I want to do with my friends at some point. And yeah, check out some of my other stuff. We're going to try to keep this a little more consistent now. We're going to try to bring back some other stuff that I really want to do. Unfortunately, the coronavirus kind of fucked everything up, and I can say it because I don't get paid yet. So, take that, YouTube. But, yeah. Kind of really fucked over a lot of plans that me and my friends had. But, we're starting to get back towards getting where we want to go, so. Anyway, before this goes on for too long, thank you for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one.